reminds us of local councils. They continually do the same thing. Tell you two quick stories of local councils that have made fools of themselves, one in Sydney and one in Brisbane. Here in Sydney, the Ku-ring-gai Council has decided they need to discuss whether or not rates should be raised. And so to talk about whether or not rates should be raised, they decided to take all the councillors away for a couple of nights to the beautiful Hydro Majestic Hotel in the Blue Mountains, because somehow all that fresh mountain air as they overlook the beautiful views will help them work out whether or not they should raise rates. We've got some photographs here. You can see this hotel. They couldn't have done this in the council chambers. They couldn't have gone to the local community hall. No, the councillors had to be here at ratepayer expense. And remember, what are they talking about? Whether or not we should raise rates. Well, I would say after that little retreat, rates will probably be raised. But in Logan, it's even worse. The mayor there, Jon Raven, has put out a video to ratepayers saying, look, we've got a couple of options. One is we could increase rates so you can retain your services, or we can increase rates just a touch, but we'll have to cut back on services. So I want to get your thoughts. Now, bear in mind, he produces this video and puts it out there just before he takes off to Europe on a fact-finding mission.
Have you seen this article and this one? Two councils in New South Wales have just voted to increase rates by 40 and 87%. A lot of people are outraged, but these councils are facing the same cost pressures that Logan is. The infrastructure and assets that council manages on your behalf are incredibly expensive, and they're things that matter to you, like parks and roads and rubbish, and they're all becoming unaffordable. So what should we do? We can put up rates or we can cut services. The community has made it really clear that you want rate increases to be as small as possible. Are you willing to pay more for better roads, parks and facilities? Or should we cut services to make rate increases smaller?
Now, there was an option he left out, and that is that he could have not jetted off to Paris and Manchester on his fact-finding mission, but that wasn't an option. I love the council PR team who put out a statement saying a video like this hasn't been done before, and the community responded with creative and constructive suggestions about how to ease budget pressures. Yeah, there are about 400 comments on the video, almost all of them saying, if you want to save money, the councillors are paid $2 million, just sack them all. Creative and constructive suggestions.
It's funny because it's like they've almost worked out how this works. They've worked out that there are cost pressures in the world, right? Because councils, like the rest of us, are finding it more expensive to do the stuff that they've always done. But they've realised that there is a cost of living crisis. But they've missed the bit where they get all of their money from us. And we are also facing the same cost pressures that they are, and they think that somehow we just have endless pots of money to give to them to do what they're doing. No, we are in the same boat as you, buddy, except that you can come to us and force us to give you money if we own property in your council. Of course, we have no choice in the matter. Yeah, sure, I'm happy to have a cut in the services if you go through it with a fine-tooth comb and cut out some of the nonsense that you probably don't need to be doing. Oh, I'm quite happy with that. But it's like they get it. They just think that we can pay for everything. But we can't.
Yeah, instead of sitting down and going, OK, let's go over the budget, let's cut the fat, because you can bet your bottom dollar there's a hell of a lot of fat. I used to be a local government councillor. We go over the budget every year. You're supposed to be spending ratepayers' money wisely. Instead, this guy just addresses the LGA and says, do you want higher rates or do you want to live in a dump? Which one is it gonna be? And these Ku-ring-gai people, everyone knows that if you are councillors, the least you could do on your little retreat to decide what to do, if you must have it, it should have been made in the council chambers. Do me a favour, is spend the money in the LGA. You are elected by those people. If you're going to spend that much money, at least don't add insult to injury by giving it up to fat cats miles away. When you consider that Elon Musk, head of Doge, is literally sleeping in federal government buildings with his entire team, saving up to $1 billion a day for the American taxpayer, because that's a lot of accommodation they don't have to fork out for. That's what this guy's doing in order to be creative. I mean, for him, it's normal. He slept on the floor at Tesla. He does the same thing at Twitter. But this is the kind of lengths that people can go to when they get creative and take the fact that, hey, we run on other people's hard-earned money. There is any number of things you can do to spend it more wisely and cut back massively.
And it's worth pointing out very quickly that New South Wales just lost a transport minister because she used a publicly funded van to go to a winery.
Yeah, good.
That would have cost no more than $1,000, and a council can spend 20 grand for a piss-up, and that's fine.
For shame.
Doesn't cut it.
The thing I love about that Sydney piss-up is that the report said the councillors did discuss the fact that the optics didn't look good. And then they went ahead with the piss-up. So that's what they think of you, ratepayer.